Okay, we are here with our next stranger. So I always just lead off with one question and then we go from there. Could you tell us your name and a little about yourself?
My name is Mario. I'm 16. I go to Franklin Police and Fire High School. I am from Phoenix, Arizona. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
No, no. So what is it? So this, what kind of school is this? Is it like, uh, is it a public school or
It's a
it's has
public
an has
school.
has an interesting name to it?
Yeah, it's a public school. Your freshman and sophomore year, you have basic classes, your educational classes and everything. And then your junior and senior year, you get put to like into CTE and stuff. And so you still have your basic classes, but you also start training and you get into like most high schools don't really do it necessarily because they just focus on educational stuff
Hmm.
for like to develop your knowledge. But our school, they have real life classes and stuff, like so they have there's one where you learn about taxes, how to file everything, and um how you're they basically set you up for how you're supposed to live.
Wow. Are you
Yeah.
so is training and stuff? Is this for like what is CTE? I've never heard of that before.
It's basically the class for whatever. So there's two of them. It's fire and law enforcement. It can be
That's
anything within
awesome.
law enforcement. You can be a police officer, probation officer, corrections officer. You can be a lawyer. Anything has to do with law enforcement.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Is that what do you think of it? Or do you really like the setup?
yeah, I do. It's amazing, and it's
So
such a small school too. So you also get like that one-on-one with the teachers and stuff too.
wow. Do you like do that's fascinating. I had no idea that there were those kinds of schools around. Are there many around or is it pretty rare?
It's pretty rare.
Um So like what is the setup? Are you going into more fire or more into law enforcement?
Law enforcement.
So what is the training like there?
I don't know yet because
Wow.
I'm myself a junior. I just became a junior this year.
Okay.
But then I don't know how things are gonna work out because of COVID and quarantine and all that. So I guess for the first couple of months we're gonna be virtual.
So like what I mean, what's crazy about that is, and your situation is that like police are under such scrutiny these days for proper training and everything. Like
Yeah,
what are your thoughts of kind of the curriculum that you have at your school, and do you think it's sufficient for law enforcement officers to do you think it's sufficient? Do you think it's sufficient training and
I
education?
I, I do believe so that it's sufficient enough for everybody because um, with everything going on, there are the bad and good officers, but they all serve one purpose: is to protect and serve, right?
Hmm.
But sometimes they abuse their power, and I completely understand because there are people like that out there in the world. But for us, we are not gonna be set with that mentality because we are all treated equally no matter what. Our school is so diverse. We have African Americans, we have blacks, we have Hispanics, we have there are illegals, but they accept because we're all equal.
Hmm.
We have whites, Caucasians, we're just such a diverse school.
So, wow, that is so fascinating. So like in your school, is there like a class that that's regarded as kind of like everyone's favorite or the one that people are most excited to take?
For their favorite class, that is all depending on the person itself. My favorite
Hmm.
class is mathematics because I am really great with numbers.
Hmm.
Like I remember one time, no, two times actually, I didn't do anything for 2 weeks straight, and I still passed with 100% on my test.
Wow. Do you want to do stuff with math moving forward, you think?
Well, I actually don't know yet because I plan after high school. I plan on enlisting
Okay. Enlisting into what branch?
either the Navy or Marines.
Okay. And what calls to you about those branches?
I've always really been into it, and I like how the discipline everything is, and their training and stuff.
Hmm. The I think that, like, at least from the kind of background that I'm from, like I come from kind of more of a liberal background, I guess you could say, quote unquote, on liberal, and many people would say are skeptical about people that enlist in the military and say that people that do that are just part of the war machine and are just continuing the endless wars that are happening. What is your perspective on that?
I actually don't know what I would say because I haven't really got too much into that myself.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Yeah. Um, are your parents pretty supportive of you doing
Yeah,
law
they
enforcement?
are.
And yeah, cool.
They've been supportive of me since day one because I started really getting like since I was in sixth grade. I was like, I can't wait to go to high school because after high school, I'm gonna do something with my life. I'm not gonna become like my family members. I'm gonna enlist. I'm gonna do what I do best, help people and everything, and then I'm gonna come back a greater person, even though I already am such a great person. And then I'm just gonna live my life to the fullest.
That's all, dude. That's it. Sounds like you're very very hopeful and positive human being.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like the world is seeming so polarized and negative these days. What are your thought? What's your perspective on that, and what do you think needs to change to make the world a better place?
Well, there's only one great answer for that, and that is quarantine. Because self isolation, it is helpful for containing it, but for people who already have depression or ADHD and anxiety and all that, that makes situations on them a lot more worse because then they're just overthinking, contemplating about so much things that they get stressed and overwhelmed, and then they just want to do something and get out there so that way they don't feel like that. And then when they do, they're scared because they don't want to get it themselves, but they have to do something because they're for example, I myself, I don't like saying it, but I've been pretty open about it lately because sometimes it helps and doesn't, depends on the situation. I myself am like, I do suffer with depression. I have since I was 6, but I never realized it until 4 6 years ago. But yeah, the self isolation does really take a toll on one person's body and mentality. And so I myself, like, I I have I ran away, but I ran away because I was on the verge of killing myself. I was either gonna do that, or I was gonna make myself happy and go somewhere where I would be happy. And so I chose that option. And so I am with my dad because my situation is very complex. But we have like all kinds of workout equipment, and so I do that to keep myself busy,
Hmm.
make myself feel better about myself. And
Hmm.
I listen to music, I talk to people.
Hmm.
So
Well, thank you for being so open and brave about talking about it. It takes a lot to be able to just say that out loud. On this channel, I've talked to a lot of younger people who have suffered from depression, and for you, what has that been like, and how have you lived with it? How do you think it came about?
well, I was in like, I'm gonna say no, I was in I think it was, dang, it's just been so long, but the first time I got taken away from my parents.
And can I ask you what that was all about?
Drugs.
I see.
Yeah. But the first time you get taken from your parents, you get to go with a family member. A family member who has a stable living condition, they're clean, and so that I went to go stay with my tia, but my tia would still allow them to come. So then that made things worse because it didn't make things worse. It just made it seem like they didn't have to change or help themselves by stop doing what they're doing. Because now, if my tia wouldn't have let them, my dad and my mom could have became clean, so that way they could have the second time it wouldn't have happened.
Hmm.
And the second time you get taken from your parents, it was called CPS at the time, but now it's called DCS, the Department of Child Safety. And so the second time you get taken from your parents, you get put into foster care, group home, or like a shelter. And so I was put in a group home, and my little brother and sister were put in foster care, and we were there for about a good 10 months. But I was not even 10 yet, and I already had a mentality of me saying, if I don't get out of here, I'm gonna adopt my little brother and sister no matter what. And no 9-year old should have to be thinking that. So
No.
then so
Yeah.
everything that I have been through has caused me to mature early. And like it kind of does suck because I wanted to have fun being little, but it kind of does help at the same time because now I can understand people a lot better. It helps. It made me become a better person.
Wow. Wow. That's an incredible story. Um, that's incredible. So for you now, um, so what are the things that you do now that kind of bring you peace and calm and bring you happiness? Talking to people?
Talking to people, listening to not upsetting music, but like music that like to bring up your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
trying new things, working out.
I
I
see.
don't. I, a lot of people with depression usually like to tend to themselves and keep in their room and lay down all day. I can't do that because then that'll make I can if I wanted to, but that would make me feel worse, and I don't want that. I want to get out of this state because it sucks.
Hmm.
This mentality, it really does take a toll on every now and then I still have mental breakdowns, but then I after I finish, I'm like I really needed that because it
Well, I think that's only human, right? Like, it's only
yeah.
human to feel. I mean, like, your story is one that is incredible. And like, people are going to be listening to this story and they're going to think, wow, this guy has been through so much. And look, he's like such a positive person. He knows that he wants to help people, right? You want to
Yeah.
serve, your country, and you want to live an honorable life, and people are going to be seeing that, and that's just so inspirational. And um do you have any yeah, and what I was going to say too is that it's only human to feel, like,
Yeah.
anyone who
Yeah.
says that they don't have mental breakdowns or panic attacks, like, they're full of it, they're lying. Or they're just so disconnected from themselves that they just don't know how to feel anymore. And
Or
it's
they repress their feelings and they just yeah.
yeah. And it's brave to be honest with yourself and your feelings. And so kudos to you, Mario, man. Wow.
Thank you.
Do you have any thoughts on, you were talking about, you live in a diverse community, and do you have any thoughts on what's going on with Black Lives Matter?
Well, yeah, I do in a way, but like I tend to overthink myself a lot
That's okay.
because I don't really like I'm open to talk about it, but then I already know how it's gonna end up, the conversations in the comment sections or how
Mm,
people are gonna react, and it's pointless because Black lives do matter. All lives matter because we're all humans. We all came from the same person. We all come from the same thing. We're all human beings. We're all equal, no matter what. Yeah, I do see myself that there are some privileged people because, well, sometimes there's black people with privilege too. The higher up, the black people who have, who they're, let's say they're a CEO or something, they have power because they're a CEO.
mm-hmm.
Basic people with superiorities who are colored, they're privileged. We just have to earn it. They don't
Mm.
understand that.
So
They
yeah, yeah. I think and in terms of talking about this, my channel is an experiment on being able to talk openly and freely about your thoughts and feelings and your
yeah.
perspective, right? And that's, if we don't listen to people And if we don't keep our minds open to other people's perspectives, there's no way that peace is ever going to come about. And
Yeah.
your perspective, from what I'm hearing is you think about privilege very much based on kind of socioeconomic, how much money a person has, right? That black people, white
Exactly.
people, Asian people, Hispanic people, some of them have money and some of them don't. And for you,
Hmm.
you think that money determines privilege, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have that perspective. Um, another perspective I've heard is like whenever a white person says all lives matter, a black person says, well, yeah, but that's like saying, oh look, like my house is on fire, and then another person saying like, oh, what about my house when their house is perfectly fine. So it's a matter of just a different people come from different places with different perspectives, and it's
Yeah.
important to listen to all of it. I mean, I agree very much with you that some people have money and some people don't, and
Yeah.
how do we bring about that balance, I guess, is my question to you. How do you think that we level the playing field?
Well, honestly, I would just say you just gotta work hard because nothing's gonna ever come easy in life. Caucasians themselves, they struggle. I see it myself firsthand. But you have to just work hard for it.
For you, what has helped you to do you feel like you work hard?
Yes, very much.
For you, what helps you to work hard?
My friends, because my family, well, my mom's side of the family is very different, but from my dad's side of the family. My mom's side of the family, they talk down on me and they make me feel a type of way. And so that's also another reason why I had left, but we're not on that topic right now.
That's
So,
okay.
um, what's the so like I feel like if I don't do anything to better myself, that I'm gonna follow in the same footsteps as all my other family members and become worthless. And I don't want that, even though I get called that, but I don't want to feel that way. So I make myself get up every morning. I stretch, I relax for a bit, I walk around the house so I make sure that I'm doing something, and then at like one something, maybe two, I'll go and work out for like a good 2.5, 3 hours.
That's great. Wow. Huh. And that is a routine that you feel comfortable with, and that makes you feel good about yourself.
Yes.
Hmm. Now, you were talking just before this about maybe some kind of bullying, right? Is that kind of what you
Yeah.
were for
Everybody
you?
gets bullied. No one likes to admit it, but everyone gets bullied.
Almost, I would say more than half the people on this channel have talked about bullying, and it's something that is really disturbs me. For you, how is that? What kind of bullying has happened to you?
Well, there's a lot of physical. Cyber, I would not say any not as much because they just like to say whatever. They don't even need to know the person. They'll just say whatever. So then that cyberbullying, like I would say stuff back because no one knows anything about the person. Like they get mad at something and then they choose a person and they go after you. So you either let it happen or you can say stuff back. But then I also understand that you don't even know what the person is going through, but you don't like the feeling of it. So then why would you do something if you don't want nothing to happen back to you?
Mm,
So I treat people the way they treat me. But that's only online. In real life, people could be a total dick, and I'll still be the most. I'll just straightforward. They can be an actual asshole dick sometimes, but I'll still treat that person with the utmost respect because that's not me. But there is a certain line that you cross, and then that's when all my respect drops down.
mm. Like what? Could you give an example?
So I'm so used to just being called fat. Like I'm look at me. I was so much bigger, but they motivated me to lose it.
Hmm.
They think that they're hurting. It did hurt for like a long time, but then I used that all that anger, all that bullying and everything, and I used that to motivate myself to go in that gym every afternoon and go work out. And since quarantine, I've lost over 30 pounds.
Wow, Mario, that's awesome, man. And you're proud of that accomplishment.
Yes,
Wow. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And that's something too is I think a lot of people confuse anger with being something bad, right? I mean,
yeah,
bullying is wrong and
yes, it is.
bad, right? The anger that we have, we can use it for good or
Yes,
we could use it for bad, and to act out and to if a person gets bullied and they use that anger to bully another person, it just repeats the cycle. To
yeah,
break the cycle is to do what you did. Acknowledge that you have the anger, but then use it towards something that helps you move towards a vision of yourself that you love, and
exactly,
that you respect, and that's wow.
exactly.
Um wow, man, dude, you rock. Okay. So, do you have any other last things that before we get going, any other things that you would like to say to the audience that you think is important that maybe we left out?
Make sure to like and comment and subscribe. Turn on post notifications.
Cool, man. I'm gonna hire you as my marketing consultant.
I already know all of like I already know all about the YouTube. I myself have a YouTube channel. I had stopped because my YouTube channel was a lot based off of gaming, but
Mhm.
I want to start doing something more with it. So I think my most recent video, because I got really into boxing myself,
Mm.
and so I had made a video on how like tips on tricks on how to box like a pro.
Cool.
And I
Um,
had a part two to it, but I accidentally deleted it.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, it happens. It happened to me too.
Yeah.
I did an interview that was an hour and a half long, and I accidentally deleted it, and I felt like shit. It was just, and then after that, you're like, oh, why do I even want to do this? I put all this work into it, and for what? And
Yeah.
we just have to continue to have hope and faith in ourselves.
But by the way, I love that Jim Carrey poster right there.
There he is. Truman
Yep.
Show. Yeah. Hey,
I love that guy.
isn't he great? He's just so authentic, you know.
Yeah.
So that's it. If you want to send me a picture of yourself, if you feel comfortable, I can put a picture of you on the thumbnail of the video. If you don't feel comfortable with that, that's fine too. You could find the balance and take a picture of yourself with your mask on. I could put that on. But just make sure to
Okay.
email me to the email I just sent you, and
Okay.
yeah, and that's it. Okay, dude. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for taking your time out of your day to talk to me. Not a lot of
Mm,
people do.
yeah, got to keep listening. Okay. All right, man. Well, I'll see you on the other side. Okay.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Have a great rest of your
All
day.
right. Bye.
Bye.
Kids should not have to go through that kind of stuff, man. What a good human being. What a good human being. Love you, Mario. You're the king.